to another great podcast and a video podcast as well with me and Gail. So we really hope you enjoyed last week's, and we're really looking to move forward with every week that we do. And we've got some great interviews lined up as well. But today you've got Gail and I, and we're going to talk about a couple of subjects today, which we think you're going to find really interesting, and hopefully you can take something away from there. But before we start, I'm going to welcome my co-presenter, Gail. Gail, hi, how are you?
Hello and welcome to Gail and Phil's show. I hope everyone's had a great week. Well, it's been bank holiday, so you've got a shorter week this week, so be a good one. But yes, I'm very good, and thank you again, Phil. It's lovely to do this as usual.
As you said, Gail, we just had a bank holiday weekend, and I think that's the sort of last holiday now until we get into autumn and winter. And I also think, and yes, we're fully aware of COVID and the impact it's had. But I think for a lot of people, sort of, for them, they sometimes go and have that sort of even the last week and then enjoy that bank holiday. And I think a lot of people reflect and they start to think to plan forward a little bit. And with that, we know with business owners and entrepreneurs and those who are successful, setting goals is really important. And I know the way that you've developed your business, Gail, I mean, goal setting's been sort of really important and an integral part for you. So, just maybe share with me, but share with our great audience, how you look at goal setting.
Yeah, absolutely, Phil. I totally 100% agree. And with the next up and coming 3 months are quite pivotal in terms of business and post-COVID, as we keep saying. I've set myself big goals. Obviously, everybody does. We've got a business plan that we do yearly, 6 months sometimes. But I always set myself realistic, achievable. I do it in bite sizes, I guess, small goals. So it was, for example, in COVID, it was to set up the marketing strategy. So with the video, so I started off doing one video. It's then led to 2 videos. So it's quite motivating and quite positive. In terms of as marketing as well, social media, it was like, right, let's connect with 10 people this week, and then next week we'll maybe connect with 20 people. So it's always small achievable goals, and in terms, and that relates back to sales as well. It's what's the core sales, what do I need to make my business pay the rent, pay the bills, and then what do I need extra to then obviously get that extra luxury, etc., and then obviously taking steps to achieve them. So yeah, setting goals is massively, and I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't set those small bite-sized goals. Would you agree, Phil? Would you do the same or something different?
Yeah, I think for me, similar to you, but I think when I look at goals, I'm sort of looking at that sort of journey. I'm looking at the road we're going to travel and where is that destination and what do you need to do to get there. So I think the bite sizes are right. If I look back into sort of, for me, sport, it really resonates with me, and I've been really lucky to work with some great sports teams and sports people over the years from a sports science point of view. And I think when I look at the relatability between sport and business, it is about those goals. It's about having that long-term goal, and that long-term goal can be a dream goal. It can be a business dream goal that I want to have a business that's 20 million turnover, and half of that's profit. I don't know, but you can have a really dream goal that if you get it, fantastic, but it's a dream goal. But I think you're absolutely right. When I sort of come back down, I sort of have a pyramid for the way I do goals. At the very top, I have this fantastic outcome goal that you're either going to hit it or miss it, but it's there, it's the dream goal. And each part down the pyramid, you get to the bottom, and that's the foundation. And the foundation for me is exactly as you've said, Gail. It's those small goals. So every little brick that you put in means you can then build again and again and again. So I think for me, it's short-term goals, absolutely, daily, weekly, and then turn them into 3 monthly goals, 6 monthly goals, annual goals, 2 to 3 year goals, but always have that dream goal. And I think both you and I are very goal orientated, and I know both of us want to achieve great things with our businesses. And within that, it's setting that one goal. And I think, there has probably been a reset for people, and I think people should now go and look at some of those goals. And I don't know what you think though, Gail. I mean, I think you kicked off this episode with people now are probably going to be looking to kick on in September, October, November. So for you, if somebody was looking for the next 3 months, because that's a great sort of 90-day goal, what do you think people should sort of look at in their business now for the next 3 months?
Yeah, absolutely. People are going to have a bit more time now. I know a lot of people have been working from home, so the kids are going back to school. I know mine are from next week, so yay! I know that's happening over sort of the next couple of weeks. They're integrating children back into school, so which is obviously a good idea. So now will be a time where obviously you don't have to split. A lot of business owners have been splitting the work home life balance, which has been great. It's been a reset, as you say, to do things as business, and a lot of us have enjoyed it, myself included. However, now it's time to sit down and focus on the business, and you've got a good core 8 hours there that you can sit down and focus on that. I would look at, if I'm completely honest, I would look at your sales division. Without a good core sales division in any company, you've got nothing to drive sales. And during COVID, we couldn't drive sales as much. Yes, we did the online networking, but from October, we're going to start to be able to attend events. Obviously, it's be stripped back and it's be a very different environment, but we are able to meet more, we are able to get out there more. And I would definitely look at your salespeople, look at your core team. Do you have a designated business development manager, for example? If you're maybe a larger organisation, smaller organisations, 1 or 2 people, on the phone, really driving those sales. It's probably a good time to do that now, get some sales in next couple of months. And then obviously you can do all the foundations and the framework ready for next year. So you've really got to be looking at the framework now. What activity you do from now, this day forward, is going to impact 3 months, 4 months down the line. So that's probably what I do. How about you, Phil?
Yeah, no, I think very similar to you, and I think for me, there's probably three components that people should be looking at. Sales, definitely, that's definitely one of the drivers, and I agree with you. And I think right now, based on COVID and everything going forward, that has probably got to be the priority. I think secondly, accounting. I think people now have got to be a lot more aware of how they're running their business. Can they streamline things? What are things costing? And in terms of that, I think accounting is important. And I also think the whole operation side. And it doesn't matter if you're a sole trader and it's just you. Operationally, what happens? Who do you use for other things? And now one would say people have had time to reflect, but if you've had time to reflect, now is the time to take that action. And I think if you've taken no action at all, you should be saying now, I'm going to take action because I want to achieve this in the next 3 months. Because if we're brutally honest about this, if people don't take action now or haven't taken action up to this point, then the likelihood of being there come Christmas is probably they're not going to be there. So, I think what you and I are talking about here, we always want to be honest with people, and we can paint wonderful bright pictures, and I think yes, if you work hard you get the results, but you also just have to have that in mind. Where are you heading and where are you going to? So I think if you're going to use these 3 months successfully, get new sales, develop those sales, retain those customers, look for additional customers, see where you potentially are hemorrhaging a little bit of money. Can you save any money anywhere? And just make sure that your business becomes as lean and as healthy as it can be, because we've been in the lull. We're now into a time of activity, and where's that going to then springboard you into next year? So I think let's get everybody out there being positive, of course, but taking some real key steps.
Yeah, absolutely. If you think about it, 2020. It's kind of anybody's business plan, anybody's planning, it's just gone out of the window. It's been an absolutely crazy one, but at the end of the day, it's done. There's no point sat here crying about it, or, at the end of the day, whether it's a small business, large business, it's a business. And whatever you do from this day forward, make a start for 2021. So next year you can smash it, and we sit here, I know, in September, a year from now, and we go, oh, well, I'm glad I did that, and it's kind of, wasn't 2020 a weird one? but everybody, you know, has benefited from it and learned from it. No situation in life is a bad situation if you don't learn a lesson. So, oh my God, I've gone off on philosophy now. So we'll go back to our subject. But yes, totally agree. It's about strategy. So.
But no, I mean, Gail, you're right to say what you said, because it's massively important. Is, you know, in a year's time we will look back, and I think if you can't look back and go, I learned something and changed something, then, you know, what was it all for? So I believe, you know, I'm very much the same as you. I think, you know, we can be philosophical about this and go, you know, okay, it's given us a chance for, you know, to restart and reset. And I think, you know, that is important. And what you and I want to do is, you know, we've come together. You know, I look at this 3 months ago, we didn't know each other, you know, and now here we are, we're doing this podcast, and we're sharing similar views, and, you know, people are giving us really good feedback on what we're doing. But all we're doing is two business people sharing our thoughts. And I know we're going to have some great guests now coming on, and we're looking forward to having a guest next week, and we'll keep that under wraps at the moment. But, you know, we just want people to enjoy this, and certainly just keep giving questions. And, you know, you and I have run a couple of weeks of sort of maybe with our own agenda about what we wanted to cover, which we know people have found really helpful and beneficial. But I think now, you know, let's get people in and get some more comments and some interviews going. But you're right, and I think I'd like to finish this particular episode with, where will we be in a year's time? And I think if people can now go, yeah, where am I going to be in 12 months time? And I always remember from looking at the Olympic rowing teams, you know, they always had a great philosophy. It was about, if not now, when? And I think that to me is true. So if you're not going to do it now, you'll never do it. So if you're watching this, Gail and I, we're massively into goals, and, you know, we want to enjoy it, but get out there and do that. And maybe for this episode, maybe you want to finish the episode, Gail, this time.
Oh God, pressure. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that in a year's time, I'll have forwarded on my career, forward on the business, have an even bigger client base. Maybe I've opened a couple more branches, so it's not just all little old me. But yes, I'd like to be in a nice position to think, do you know what? I learned something from the COVID. It made me a stronger person. It made me a smarter businesswoman. And that, you know, in a time of crisis, instead of crumbling, oh my gosh, I can feel Gloria Gaynor coming on, I will survive. I really don't mean that. But I can look back and say, do you know what? We had COVID, and it still didn't stop. You know, the British people are, you know, and obviously everybody else in the world, but yeah, I'd like to think and look back and say I held my own, I grew with the business and as a person and as a parent too. It gave me a lot of time with the children, and, you know, we invested time that we'll never probably ever get back. So yeah, it'll be a positive. Yes, there's been a lot of businesses that suffered, but if those businesses can bounce back, or even close and start again, there's loads of help and support out there. So just got to be in the thick of it. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think that's been fantastic. I mean, Gail, thanks again for joining me as co-host. Every week it's fantastic. We're growing this, and I know, you know, the feedback we're having is brilliant. So yeah, you know, as you said to me before we even started this, you know, you can look at this morning, and you know, we know that there's Holly and Phil, but now every week now we're bringing Gail and Phil to people's screens somewhere close to them. So exactly. Hope everybody's enjoyed this. We look really forward to joining us again next week. So please join me and Gail next week, and really hope you enjoyed this. So bye from me.
Bye for now. Bye everyone.